The reason why we put our goggles in the goggle box is to kill the germs that other students' faces leave behind. When I put on some goggles, I don't want someone else's acne to get on my face. So when I put the goggles in the goggle box and I close the door and I turn on the timer, a special light turns on right here. It's an ultraviolet light. Let's take a look at what it looks like. Now you should never look at that except on a video, because the ultraviolet rays have lots of energy. So much energy that it can kill cells, it can damage cells. It kills the germ cells, like bacteria, that might be on the goggles. Or does it? That sounds like an experiment, something we can find out about. There are also ultraviolet rays in the sun's light, which we want to avoid because sunlight can cause burns to skin, and that can also result in skin cancer, melanomas. And so some people wear sunblock to protect from ultraviolet radiation of the sun. What I want to show you are some experiments that I did to find out more about the ultraviolet rays in the goggle box and about sunblock. For my experiments, I need some live germ cells. So I'm going to sample some germ cells from my goggles. I'm starting with a sterile cotton swab, and I'm wiping it all over the face region of my goggles, the nose, and anywhere that my face would touch. And then I took the cotton swab and I wiped it all over the inside of an agar plate, a sterile petri dish. So what's in here is kind of like Jell-O. It contains all of the nutrients and moisture that germs like bacteria need to grow. And then if you put it in an incubator, something that has the same body temperature as a human, then the germs will grow. So here's what it looks like, the plate that I made last week. These are germs that I collected from my face. When you look at the plate, you'll see all these little dots and streaks and stuff. Those are the germs. Each one of those dots is a colony. It can contain several million bacterial cells, and they each grew from a single cell that came off of my face. That looks pretty nasty, but that's what's growing all over our faces all the time, lots of germs. And that's what we want to keep from spreading. So to find out more about the goggle box and how effective it is at killing germs, and also to find out about the effectiveness of sunscreen, I'm going to use these germ cells and I'm going to put them on some additional petri plates. So to do that, I'm going to take another sterile cotton swab, and I'm going to make a mixture in some sterile water. I'm going to dip this into the sterile water, and then I'm going to smear some of the bacterial colonies off of the plate and mix it in the water. And then I'm going to put these bacteria on some of these other plates. The first plate, I'm not going to put any bacteria on. The second plate and the third, fourth, and fifth plates, I'm going to spread the bacteria on, and then I'll show you what that looks like. So here's how I spread them. Just take the cotton swab and spread them around like this. Just wipe it all over the surface. I'll do that with all of the plates, and then I'll show you the next step. Alright, here are my 5 petri plates. The first one, I didn't put anything on. This is just a sterile petri plate, no germs, no nothing. And the second, third, fourth, and fifth, I put germs on, and then I'm going to do different things with each one. So the first one, I'm going to open it up like this, exposing the plate to any ultraviolet light when I put it into the goggle box. The second one, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to open it up and expose it to the ultraviolet light rays from the goggle box. There are germs on here. The third one, I'm going to leave closed. It's a clear plastic lid, and there are bacteria on the plate. So this will be exposed to the ultraviolet light inside the goggle box. The next one, I'm going to leave the lid on, and I'm going to put some of this sunblock on there, and I'll smear it around using a Kleenex. And there we go. And the last one, I'm going to open it up and I'm going to slide it inside of this foil sleeve. Aluminum foil, metal foil, blocks all light. So this is a light-proof container. No light should be able to get inside of here. Next, what I'm going to do is put all 5 of these plates in the goggle box and turn on the light. I'll show you what that looks like. Okay, the Petri plates are inside the goggle box. Here's the one that's open with no germs on it. All the other ones have germs. This one is open. This one has a clear lid. This one has a clear lid that's covered with the sunblock. This one is open, but inside a light-proof protective metal sleeve. I'll close the goggle box and turn on the light for half an hour, and then I'll show you the next step. Okay, here are the 5 plates. This one had no germs on it. I left it open. This one had germs on it. I left this one open. This one has germs, and I put it in with the lid on top. This one has germs, and I'm going to replace this cover with one that's easier to handle. And then the last one was open, and inside the sleeve I'm going to cover that one up. And then these are all going to go into the incubator until tomorrow. And until then, what you need to do is make predictions about what's going to happen on each one of the plates. On which plates would you predict that the germs would grow, and on which would you predict that the germs will not grow, and why, before you see the final results.